Hello and welcome everybody to today's Commodities Corner presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. During today's session, we will of course be covering live market analysis. We'll be going through a watch list of trade ideas. We'll go through analysis of gold, of silver, of crude oil, the commodity currencies, and we'll talk about where we expect them to be heading next. We'll be answering questions, and of course, we'll be providing live support during today's session as well. So just before we get into it, let me introduce you to the Gold and Silver Club. The Gold and Silver Club is regarded as the go-to authority on commodities trading. As international respected experts, our analysis and our opinions on the metals, energy, the cryptocurrency markets, they're routinely sought by major financial television channels and publications, which include Bloomberg, Reuters, CNBC, the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journal. Our team of experts has trained and mentored thousands of traders from all over the world to invest in the financial markets with confidence using our exclusive strategies. For further information on the Gold and Silver Club and our expertise, please do visit www.thegoldandsilverclub.com. Okay, so before we get into it, before we go over to the charts and have a look at the market sentiment, just with regard to the execution on binary.com, I'm sure a lot of you are aware of how to take a trade on binary, but as a bit of a recap here, and particularly for newer traders, essentially when we're looking to take a trade on binary, we go for a rise and fall type of trade where we're looking for either the price to close higher or lower than our entry price. So typically, let's say, for example, gold. Gold is selling off at the moment. If I was looking for the price to take a trade for the price to go lower, I would do start time now. Typically, I look to be in a trade fairly quickly on binary, so anywhere between 1 hour to 2, 3, 4 hours, just depending on the timing that I'm getting into that trade. And if we're looking at that in terms of a 1 hour time frame, the payout, you just select exactly what you're looking to achieve on the payout, depending on the size of your trading account. So here you can see we're looking for a £2,500 payout. The stake on the trade, so if I'm looking for the price to go lower, the stake is £1,417. That's my deposit on the trade. If the trade wins, I will essentially get a payout of $2,500. If the trade loses, I would lose the stake on the trade, which would be $1,417. Now, the opposite is true in the other way around as well. So if I'm looking for the price to be higher, so let's say I'm going for oil and I'm looking for the price to close higher over the next hour, again, I'd look for the stake. My deposit on the trade would be £1,415.65. The payout is $2,500. If I win the trade, I win the payout. If I lose the trade, I will lose a stake on the trade. So it's all very transparent. You know your net profit up front, you know exactly what your return will be on the trade. You pick the duration, and essentially all you need is the trade to close within your direction over the specified time period. It's very good for trading major news items. It's great for swing trade opportunities, and it's good because you don't need to have a stop loss or a take profit. So from that point of view, it's very straightforward from the implementation point of view. When you're trading on binary.com, definitely a great tool to have in your trader toolbox. So with that, let's move over to the technicals. We'll go through some live technical analysis and also our trade ideas as well. So bear with me as I bring you over to my screens. First of all, we'll have a look at the market sentiment, and then we'll move over to the charts as well. As always, feel free to put any contributions into the chat as we go through today's session. So I'm just going to bring that out. So you should be able to see my screen very shortly. Okay, right, and let's just double check. Yep, thanks, Reese. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so let's just have a look at sentiment on the markets right now. So we're currently just after 2 o'clock London time right now. First thing I want to have a look at is just at the bottom of the screen here. We can see what's really starting to sell off this afternoon. And we've had a fairly sizable pullback today on palladium. It's down 1.6% on the day at the moment. You can see oil at the moment, Brent crude oil is down 0.7% on the day. Gold has taken a whack and it broke above 1300 yesterday, but it's back down at around 1292 at the moment. It's down 0.7% on the day. In fact, gold's one of the biggest losers of the day in terms of percentage moves. We can see also some negative momentum on CAD Japanese yen, in fact, Australian dollar Japanese yen, US dollar Japanese yen as well, starting to deliver a sell signal. I've got crude oil, WTI crude oil, which is slightly down on the day as well. Platinum starting to pull back here too. So those are some of the negative moves on the day at the moment. So we can look at some momentum trades there. Australian dollar is also down on the day, and so is the New Zealand dollar. We're shorting as well copper right now, which has had quite a significant whack as well to the downside, which is moving in our direction. In terms of positive sentiment today, with the Euro CAD, Euro New Zealand dollar, both looking strong here against the New Zealand dollar. So pound New Zealand dollar also on the verge of breaking out. Euro is retracing, dollar is starting to pull back. Pound US dollar sold off significantly yesterday and is also getting a bit of a bid. In fact, most of the crosses on the pound are looking quite strong. Pound CAD, pound New Zealand dollar, and pound Swiss franc as well. So overall, that's what we're looking at for the time being. So I want to really go with where the biggest momentum is at the moment. So that tends to be gold right now, which is selling off, silver, platinum, copper right now as well. And we'll have a look at some of the breakout moves too. So with that, let's just go over to the chart and let's just have a look at how some of those price structures are looking right now. So just from a sentiment point of view, we've been shorting copper since earlier on this week, since just after the FOMC statement, and copper starting to pick up this momentum today. We were looking at this really classic V-shaped reversal pattern to play out, picked up momentum just this morning, and it's hitting the first layer of support around some of the faster moving averages. I'm still looking for more downside on copper as we continue with the US session this afternoon. Oil here, bit mixed on oil at the moment. I do think it's building a base. This is WTI crude oil. Brent crude oil is more bearish. So if you're going to short oil, I'd be more inclined to say short Brent crude oil. If you're going to long oil, go for a buy on oil. I'd be more inclined to go for WTI crude oil as well, which is just about breaking above the weekly highs. If you look at that on a weekly chart, you can see where we broke through a 12-month trending channel, and we're just about finding support at the lower end of that channel at the moment, broken above last week's highs. If we can pick up some momentum here between now and the OPEC meeting, which is next Friday, so definitely have that in the diary, we could see quite a lot of follow-through back towards the previous swing highs here if we start to see oil get a bid. I think today is going to be a bit of a decision time in terms of whether we can just hold on this breakout. The oil inventory data this week saw a large drawdown on both oil data and the gasoline inventories as well, and the distillate data too. All three of those were drawdowns, so the major crude oil inventories and the gasoline inventories as well. Gasoline, let's actually just have a quick check on that. Gasoline actually started to roll over. It's back towards the swing lows, but WTI crude oil is still holding up at the moment. So what I'm looking for later on today is the Baker Hughes oil rig count, which is due out just after 6 o'clock London time. And then I will be also looking at the commitment of traders data. So I want to have a look whether we've seen an increase in the overall net long positions with respect to crude oil. We've seen a decline of late, which has lent to this big move lower over the last few weeks here, where we've seen over a 7% decline to the downside for oil, but we're starting to consolidate here around the swing highs going back to approximately August of last year, that sort of level of net long positions at the moment. So I want to see if there's been any increase later on today as we get closer to next week's OPEC meeting, which is on Friday, the 22nd of June. You definitely want to have that in the diary. So for me, oil is a bit muted, but has the potential to break out, especially if we clear above the 21-day moving average. That's a major layer for crude oil to break above. If we have a look at gold, I mean, gold's right back at around the 1290 zone. It's been retested a lot over the last week. In fact, we're just about cracking below that level at the moment. So you can see we're retesting around 1290 right now. It's not too much of a surprise to see gold do this because the US dollar yesterday had a monumental breakout. It was a bear trap, so it broke down in price initially, then broke out back towards the swing highs here. So we've essentially broken all the way back out to the November swing highs. The dollar strength here will put pressure. Certainly has put pressure already on the euro. The euro had a very significant sell-off yesterday, and now we're seeing gold start to catch up a bit here as well. So not too much of a surprise to see this reversal here on gold. It seems a little bit too obvious, the breakout that we saw yesterday. Some quick points to be made on the breakout move yesterday, but Mario Draghi is also known as rather than say that, I'll just say that Mario Draghi, very often, he causes the price of gold to go down. This is very common to see that after an ECB, European Central Bank press conference. It's very common to see gold sell off afterwards. So where we're at right now, we're sitting around $1,289 US dollars per ounce at the moment. We're really starting to pick up a bit of momentum here. So you can see again, in terms of biggest movers today, gold and palladium. So let's just go over to palladium as well. Yeah, palladium is now a sell signal. It will probably get supported on a revisit back to around the 970 zone. What I'm looking to do today in terms of positioning on gold here is I'm going to wait now for, we've done well on the breakout that we've seen over the FOMC statement, and now we're going to wait to see where we're going to get some support here on this pullback with gold. So it's coming back down to some major levels here. Want to see how gold closes, and also how we're looking on the commitment of traders data as well, whether we see an increase or a decrease in terms of funds and their positioning as well. But certainly right now, short-term sentiment is negative for gold. At the moment, we're seeing a retest back towards the swing lows again around the 1285 zone. So we'll see how the price does this afternoon and whether we do hold up around that level. In fact, it's around 1288 at the moment. Silver, we banked profits on silver this week as well after we broke out to around $17.20 per ounce here. You can see silver very fast pulling back as well. No surprises really, hit the Keltner channels, monthly pivot, so it's not a surprise to see a pullback off this very overbought condition for silver. But again, that might give a great opportunity to re-enter at a better price here for silver. We're now flat on silver. We don't have a position on this anymore. We've also banked our profits on platinum. Platinum looks vulnerable to another corrective move lower. We banked profits again on platinum just earlier on in the session. We banked half profits last week, and we banked profits earlier on today as well. So we're now actually flat on platinum. What I'm looking at is the potential to reload again around $890 here if we follow through today on platinum. If we break back down, back towards the lower end of the range, I might even wait longer than that if we get more momentum to the downside next week for a revisit of around 870. Looks a bit bearish at the moment. It's found resistance at the Keltner channel, the Bollinger Band, so potentially platinum might start to break down more significantly. So overall, the metals haven't followed through. At the moment anyway, we'll see what happens later on in the session. It's interesting because the S&P 500 is on the verge of breaking down right now. The Dow Jones has already signaled a sell signal, so the S&P 500 might break down later on in the session as well. If we break through the weekly lows, we've got a sell signal which is developing on that at the moment as well. Gold, definitely momentum to the downside right now too. So I just go through commodities again, what we're looking at here. So oil, very muted at the moment. It broke out this week. It's up 1.6% on the week. My preference is to buy WTI crude oil, but sell Brent crude oil. Out of the two, I'm selling copper at the moment, which is really picking up good momentum in our direction right now. Dollar index, don't have a position. It's right at the swing highs here, going back to November. So waiting to see how that plays out. Gold right now, flat here, so not looking at necessarily adding a position just yet, just waiting to see how this trade develops or how this moves later on in the session as well. Palladium, also just waiting to see how the price structure, if we get a revisit back towards this underlying trend channel too, around $985 US dollars here per ounce. Platinum 2, banks that now, bank silver out of those trades at the moment. So let's move over and just have a look at some of the FX crosses as well. So right now we're seeing, we'll just go through commodity currencies. Actually, I'll tell you what, let's go through all of them. Let's just go through a quick rundown of the pound sentiment was stronger earlier on in the session today. We've seen that on the pound Swiss franc and pound New Zealand dollar as well. US dollar Swiss franc we hit profit on yesterday after this breakout. After the European Central Bank, we saw the US dollar break out to November highs. So US dollar Swiss franc now banked. Shifted CAD Japanese yen looks like a sell at the moment. Pound US dollar, we're right back at the swing lows, aren't we? Where we could get a bid at this level. Right back at the May swing lows. I won't touch that yet though. I will wait. Australian dollar also back at support, monthly pivot, back in a potential accumulation zone, but again, I don't have a buy signal on that at the moment. Euro getting well supported actually, right at the swing lows too. Euro got whacked yesterday. So yeah, Euro's back at the November swing lows here. So again, short-term momentum. I mean, it's quite extreme over solar at the moment. It would make sense to get, you've seen just a washout yesterday. That was a huge candle on the daily. What are we looking at there? Almost a 300 pip candle on the daily. So a lot of longs got taken out, but you can see retracing at the moment. I'm waiting on the euro. I'll let the market settle. You can get some weird reversals on a Friday as you go into the US session later on in the day. So I'd rather go for the higher probability trades. We've done very well this week with the FOMC statement, ECB. So we're just really getting ready for next week. There might be a few quick trade opportunities here, but I'd be more interested to wait to see how we're looking a bit later on in the session as well, and see how we're setting up as we go into next week too. But you might be able to catch some short-term momentum trades here. New Zealand dollar is also back at the lower end of the range. Yeah, I don't have a new signal on that at the moment. US dollar, Japanese yen, I actually like this for a sell around this resistance zone, but I think you need to be in and out of it relatively quickly because it's still counter trend. It's still within an upward trend. Euro, New Zealand dollar bounced right off support. Amount of times this has happened now that it's bounced off this level has been quite a lot, but it's more of an aggressive trade, but it bounced right off the lower Bollinger Bands as well. Pound Japanese yen, pound New Zealand dollar. I think that might be ready for next week. If you look at that on the weekly chart, pound New Zealand dollar cross, you've got a tweezer set up from a technical point of view, a lot of support. Really interesting to see how many buy limit orders must have been just sat around this level, holding the price. It's making an attack at the 21-day moving average. Actually, I might look at that for a re-entry if it holds up today. The pound New Zealand dollar should, in theory, break out next week if we hold on the weekly. You can see that price structure, so I might actually look at a trade on that. Yeah, that's worth having on the radar, actually. Pound Australian dollar looks good as well for a breakout follow-through move. What else we got here? Australian dollar, Japanese yen looks weak. New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen is a sell now. Australian dollar, Swiss franc is a sell. Yeah, we're shorting actually Swiss franc, Japanese yen. Just a short-term trade. This is looking just for a move back towards the weekly pivot here. Just short-term play on that. Yes, I think that's it, guys. In terms of our positioning at the moment, so commodity-wise, we've covered all of the positions there. I think that's really it in terms of what we're looking at today. Markets are reversing some of the moves from yesterday's European Central Bank announcement. And then we'll just be getting ready. Gold might, if it holds up around this level, it might get bid. It's been bid a lot around 1287 to 1290. It really depends how it closes. It's a major level of previous resistance that might turn into support as well. But this is really common to see this sort of breakout around European Central Bank, and everybody gets who's getting in too late on the move gets whacked. And that was evident with the euro as well. So everybody trying to buy the euro ahead of the European Central Bank and in positions would have just got whacked there. Again, that's why you definitely, two points there. You definitely want to stop loss when you're trading the markets. And with binary, you don't need to have a stop loss, so your risk is mitigated. You know exactly what your risk is up front, unless you're trading on MT5, of course, but then you want to just have a stop loss. But other than that, when you're trading binary trades, you just need the price to go in your direction and close higher or lower over that specified duration. Okay, I hope that helps, guys. Hope that gives you a bit of clarity as to what we're looking at the moment. Okay, fantastic. And of course, if you'd like to join us at the Gold and Silver Club, next week on Friday, we have the OPEC meeting. We'll be gearing up for that next week during the live trading rooms. And you can get access to our custom-built market data and news trading platform. So that will really help to give you an edge with your trading to get a lot of this news real time. We've been trading several news items this week, and it gives you such an edge in the market when you get fast data coming through immediately during FOMC statements, European Central Bank announcements. You don't even need to watch any of those statements. You're just getting everything through real time. You're getting all of the updates via Reuters, and that helps you incredibly with sentiment and also with breaking news. Invitation only to our live trading rooms during the week, so of course I highly recommend those. Real-time trade alerts delivered instantly by email and SMS, so you get kept up to date with all of our trades. We'll be putting out our regular weekly trading plan over this weekend, so you can get an update on that, technical analysis and fundamental research. If you're a client of the Gold and Silver Club, you get access to our private members academy website, which has got a range of resources, training videos, strategies, signals, discussion boards. You've got everything there. VIP phone and email support directly from our senior traders. And of course, you get your platform set up and configuration with customized charts and indicators. So again, to get access to all of that, all you need to do is go to www.jointhelivetradingroom.com. Okay, fantastic. So that's www.jointhelivetradingroom.com. So with that, I wish you all a fantastic weekend, good trading, and of course, we'll see you back here on the next one. Okay, so take care, everyone. All the best, and we'll speak to you real soon. Thanks, everyone, and thanks to Binary.com and Therese for putting on today's session. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.